good. D. Anderson and the Showboats have won it in overtime. Going to hand this off up the middle for Marable. He's going to fumble. Ball's loose. And St. Louis picks it up. That will do it. The Battlehawks defense makes a play late. Game on the line. Looking to throw. Has time. End zone. Incomplete. It's incomplete. The Stallions hang on to win. For overtime. DeLeo to throw. Pass. Caught by Roland. Needs some help. Not gonna get it. He's stopped a yard short. Houston will pull off the upset. Looking to throw. Has time. Deep. Right side overthrown. Picked off. It's intercepted by Keenan Isaac. He's gonna need it right there. If they hand this off right side for Roland, they convert the 10-5. Chris Roland. I should shut up. Chris Roland touchdown. That's the dagger. Knicks toss left side and there's room. Has past the 30, past the 40, past the 20, 15, 10, 5. RJ Harvey. There we go. One play. Just need one play out of you. Gonna play action and look to throw. Mariota, sometime. Pass, intercepted. It's picked off. Yes, yes. One play was all they needed. Jack Jones. Williams, play action. Rolling left, looking to throw. Has time. Pass, end zone, intercepted. It's Keyshawn Nixon calling game. Darnold to throw. Has time. Pass, wide open. Over the middle. The Seattle Seahawks do it. Play action looking to throw. Williams has some time. Pass deep. Over the middle. Has a man. It's DJ Moore. Touchdown Chicago. They win in overtime. Snap good. Hold good. Kick up. And he missed it. Wide right. The Steelers will host Houston on Monday night. Williams in shotgun. Back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left. 4th and 4. Trip to Seattle on the line. Man in motion. Williams looking to throw. Pressure coming. Rolling left. Trying to buy some time. Back near the 40. Pass left side. Williams is caught. Touchdown Chicago. Cole Kmet. Somehow the magic remains. What? May looking to throw in 3rd and 6. Rolling left. Gonna take it himself. And that will do it. A first down carry. It's a gain of 7. And the Patriots have booked their ticket to Santa Clara. Zeros on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks, for the first time since 2014, are your NFC champion. Hello, everybody, and welcome on into the final game for Week 6 of the UFL season. This is also the final game from this setup for the season as well. So, no real expectations for this game. This is a rematch of a game from a few weeks back. Dorian Thompson-Robinson makes a start against his former team in this game, his second start as a Birmingham Stallion. In that game last week, he played okay. I would say over 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, did throw 2 pretty bad interceptions, but they were going against DC, so a bit of a benefit of the doubt there for him. Orlando coming off of their tough loss last week to the Storm. It's going to be Orlando coming off of their tough loss last week to the Battlehawks. So we'll see how they bounce back in this one at home once again. They're rocking some new alternate uniforms that were announced the other day. I'm excited to see them in proper action for this game. And of course, the storyline for this matchup, more so that the league is going with, the same as from a few weeks ago. Anthony Beck going against AJ McCarron, the 2 head coaches. McCarron used to be the quarterback for St. Louis while Beck was there. So, a good old friendly rivalry between the two. The league really wants this to be a big rivalry going forward. So, we'll see if it ends up being the case. Obviously, for it to be the case, we need Birmingham to put a more of a fight in this game than what they did last time out against Orlando in that 16-0 loss. But we shall see. Kickoff is moments away in this one. Kickoff is moments away. Welcome on in. And yeah, the weather in Orlando is better today. Yesterday there was tornado warnings and thunderstorms going on, so actually clear skies for this game, even with all that happened yesterday. So it should be a pretty good one. Again, I expect Birmingham to have a bit better of a performance this week than when they got shut out, but we'll see. You never really know. Oh yeah, those orange uniforms look so much better than whatever when then the dark navy or whatever that they're calling the previous ones. Like yeah, for an Orlando team, you need jerseys that pop. It made no sense for them to go with the dark aesthetics. Like, dude, have jerseys that pop. Yep, kickoff here, moments away. Oh, I sold DTR short last week. He had over 300 passing yards. Yeah, this should be an interesting one. Yeah, to me, the matchup is Dorian Thompson-Robinson against his Orlando defense. For the league, it's AJ McCarron and Anthony Beck. Man, this should be an interesting one. For Birmingham entering this game now, the only team with one win on the season, looking to join 3 other teams at 2-4. Orlando trying to catch up with DC at 5-1. If they do lose, I believe if they do lose, they'll fall behind St. Louis in the league standings at since they're both 4-2, and St. Louis would have the tiebreaker for the time being. But yeah, this should be a pretty interesting game. No massive expectations, but just one that's going to be, competitive, hopefully. Going to come down towards the end. Again, main thing is Birmingham offense needing to have a better performance against Orlando's defense than what it was 2 weeks ago. Yep, kickoff moments away. Yeah, those uniforms, man. The orange uniforms are a lot better. They are a lot better. Yep, at commercial break. At commercial break as we await the opening kick. All right. I'm going to assume Birmingham would want the ball first, but we've seen so far this week that the home team has been getting the ball in this to begin, so never know. We will see. All right. Team's taking the field, coaches on the sideline. Opening kick should be seconds away. And Orlando will get the ball first in this one. So we'll see Jack Plummer and that Orlando offense to begin things. In a not very packed out Inter and Co Stadium. Our attendance the past few weeks has not been great league wide. To be fair, the numbers are a tiny bit skewed because we haven't had a St. Louis home game in a few weeks, it seems. So when they get back in St. Louis, that's gonna help out the numbers a bit. But still, you're gonna need more people than these at some of these other games. I saw someone earlier today tweet their thoughts on it and kind of just like, yeah, as the league currently sits, it doesn't give a lot of fans incentives to go to games to watch instead of just watching it on TV. And I do get that point quite a bit as well. As yeah, St. Louis has not played at home in 3 weeks, so that's definitely part of the reason for attendance numbers to not be looking the greatest. They do play at home next week though. So that's gonna be interesting to see how those fans show up with the team being 4-2 now. So, all right, Birmingham set to send this one down, and kickoff is underway from Orlando, Florida. Going to be returned beginning from the 3, face out past the 15, past the 20, 25, past the 30, and brought down right around the 33. You say I do like the orange jerseys. They don't fit well with those dark pants. At least that's initial reactions to it. All right, so Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. First play from scrimmage in this one. Plummer going to play action and quick pass this left side. That's caught past the 35 and down to about the 37, maybe the 38. I believe that's KJ Hamler on the reception, and yep, it is. The star receiver for the Storm already making a play in this one. Getting him involved early is going to be a key thing for this offense. All right, 2nd and 4. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on their own 39-yard line. Plummer going to look to throw. Has some time. Pass over the middle is caught with space. Pass midfield, past the 45, and brought down right around the 40. It is Cam Camper on the reception. And the Stormer pass midfield. All it took is 2 plays. And they're moving well on the opening drive. All right, good way for this to start for them. Again, opening drives are always with a grain of salt for the most part. Plummer under center, going to hand this off going right, and that's going to be some space for a gain of roughly 3. It's Jay-Sean Corbin on the carry. Why does it feel like there's 2 separate oranges on those jerseys? It could just be the material making it feel that way. Plummer in shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ball on the Birmingham 37-yard line. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time as Plummer looks to throw. Pass right side, going to be enough for the first. He gets down to about the 25. It is Elijah Badger on the reception. Yeah, it feels like those are 2 separate oranges on those jerseys, but again, very well could just be the material. All right, Plummer under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time as they look to throw. Plummer with some time, pass right side, going to be off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Elijah Badger, a little bit underthrown on that one. It was Stephen Gilmore in coverage for the Stallions. Might have gotten a hand on that as well. But again, underthrown, off the mark, probably would have been incomplete either way. Yeah. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Plummer under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Tight end in motion, left to right. Ball on the Stallion 25-yard line. Plummer bobbles the snap, and Birmingham's going to have it at the 26. A turnover on the opening drive for the Storm, and the Stallions are feeling it. Was just bobbled the exchange and couldn't fall back on it. That's a tough way for that drive to end. It's not even like it was a bad snap. It was under center. The bad snaps don't really exist there. He just dropped the snap, and then it gets kicked. He drops the snap, and then because of it being what seemed like a handoff to the right, the pull-in guard kicks the ball a little bit. So Plummer couldn't himself fall back on it. So now Stallions ball from the 26. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in shotgun. Back to his left, going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space for Snoop Connor, past the 30 to about the 33. All right. Yeah, tough way for that first drive to end for the Storm. And now we'll see what the Stallions can do with it, trying to build off that momentum. DTR in shotgun. Back to his right, two receiving options to each side, ball on their own 32, 33-yard line-ish. They get the snap off in time as he looks to throw for the first time today. Pressure coming, dancing around in the pocket, rolling right, passing deep right side, wide open with space. Inside the 40, makes one man miss, the 25, 20, 15, and finally brought down around the 11 is Jaden Mickens on the grab. And now the Stallions are inside the red zone in 2 plays. Good pocket movement for DTR there. And then, yeah, just Mickens wide open along that right side. And then he's wide open along that right side. Once he makes that safety miss after catching it, he had a free lane. Handoff up the middle for Snoop Connor, going to find some space inside the 10. The 5 breaking through, and he's in. The Stallions scoring off the turnover, and they take the early lead. All right. Talk about capitalizing. All it took was 3 plays for them. Hello. 3 plays for the Stallions to go 74 yards. And already, they're finally on the board against this Storm team. They were shut out in the first meeting. They wasted no time putting up points in this one. Cool. Appreciated. Is extra point is up and it is good. Yeah, so the thing with this setup is my college semester is about to end, so for the next week slate for the rest of the season after this, it will be a different one and a more proper setup. But yeah, but for the majority of stuff, this is gonna be the setup for the next year or so. But I do appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, for the when the New York Guardians in the XFL 2.0 were around, they were my team because Florida didn't have a team at that point. And then I kind of just stuck with them. I was kind of an Orlando Guardians fan, but it was more so just it was always New York for me when it comes to the Guardians. And then like even now with Orlando having a team in the Storm, I'm kind of just waiting for the Guardians to be back at some point. But for most everything else, I am Florida sports and South Florida sports. Yep, we're at commercial break after the 3-play touchdown drive. Yeah, a lot of the uniforms from that XFL year in general were fantastic. But like, I mean, some of them carried over into like in feel almost to the UFL, like the DC and St. Louis's kind of feel the same. I don't know how to feel about the Renegades uniforms compared to back then, but yeah, I do like that they've kept some of the brands alive from both that and also the USFL. Even if like the jerseys themselves have changed. We're still looking at Birmingham for that regard because, man, even with them bringing back the maroon jerseys, I'm still not a massive fan of those yellow gold pants, whatever color they call it. Their away uniforms are nice. I'll give them that though. All right, just getting back from commercial break. We'll see how Orlando responds. Yeah. So only three plays for the Stallions to score there. I mean, like that pass play for DTR, like that was a good example of just what he brings that Matt Corral couldn't really bring, because Corral wasn't as mobile as that. Hello. Yeah, I'm still taking a half a second to properly wake up. I had a late night last night for good reason. Kickoff underway, going to be returned beginning from the 5, spaced out past the 15, past the 20, and going to be stood up around the 24. All right, so how does Orlando respond? They fumbled in the red zone on their opening drive and then gave up a 3-play touchdown. A 3-play touchdown drive. So we'll see what they can do here. All right, Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Ball on their own 25, they're saying. This league has been a bit generous with the spots. Gonna hand this off right side for Jay-Sean Corbin. Gonna fight his way past the to the 30. Okay, that time they were. Bad. All right, Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. And there's going to be a stoppage before the snap. Penalty marker down. Getting a false start against the Storm. Yep, push them back 5. Oh, those are nice. I'm also just really like that color scheme. I was gonna say the Utah Mammoth have a similar one, but more so like the Utah Jazz. At least used to like really lean into this color scheme, and it's some of my favorite NBA throwback uniforms. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right, going to keep it himself right side for the read option, and that's gonna be a gain of about 5. And actually, that was not Plummer. That was Jay-Sean Corbin in a Wildcat. All right, so a 3rd and 5 coming up. Yeah, and Glacier works in tandem with the Avalanche as well, so it kind of fits there. I like it. Yeah. The mountains kind of resemble glaciers if you squint at them from 5 miles away. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left, looking to throw on 3rd and 5. Pass right side, going to be caught by Elijah Badger. Breaks off 2 defenders, gets his way past the 40 to about the 41. All right. So 1st and 10 coming up. 8:25 to play in the 1st quarter. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on their own 41. Plummer looking to throw, passing deep. Left side has a man, but it's overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Cam Camper, who had to step. Would have needed to take a near perfect throw and just didn't get it there. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're probably not massive glaciers, though, but damn. Colorado is one of those states where it feels like every once in a while there's just a new random fact about it that pops up. Handoff right side, going to be a gain of roughly 6 or so, and that is Elijah Dotson on the carry. I think Denver, Colorado. All right, 7.5 to play in the 1st. There was a period of time where I would constantly get like Portland/Oregon confused in terms of which one was the state and which one was the city. Plummer and Shotgun going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 2 or so to roughly midfield. Yeah, they're going to say a 4th and 1 ball in midfield. Yeah. Not too surprised. All right, offense on the field for 4th and 1. Are refs discussing the spot here? They're talking things over with Anthony Beck as well. Is he obviously he thinks he got the first, but I don't think they're challenging this. Yeah, no, he's short. Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's gonna be a 4th and inches. Or so they added half a yard to the play. So Plummer under center, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. And so since they added the half a yard, they have to go for it here. They pass midfield. Plummer going to hand this off right side, and he's met behind the line for a loss of 2 or 3. It's a turnover on downs for the Storm. It's Kavanta Zeno on the tackle for loss, and the Stallions are cooking to begin this game. He met him instantly in that hole. Yeah, that play never stood a chance. With 6:32 to play in the quarter, we go to a commercial break. All right, at commercial break. All right. Yeah, so Birmingham gonna have excellent starting field position here at the Orlando 47 or so. So it's gonna be an interesting one. If they can jump out to an early 2-possession lead and really put that pressure on the Storm, it might be a long game. What's up, T-Fox? Well, part of everything is just, Matt Corral wasn't playing the greatest. Like, he was fine, but he was definitely limiting the offense to a bit, and then the defense just also was inconsistent. With Dorian Thompson-Robinson, his mobility is going to help them, but as a passer and his accuracy is where things could probably, find some leeway with it. There's still time, but Birmingham was always one of those teams where, with the amount of talent they maintained from last year, it was always they're playing worse than they really should be, and most of that was on the coaching. And it seems like Adrian McCarron has these guys playing a bit better with with the quarterback that more so fits his style of offense. But we'll see. No, because faking an ACL tear makes no sense. Like, no. Like, if you watch the video of him getting hurt, you can see his calf pop. Handoff up the middle, going to be a gain of roughly 5. He'll be back week 1 because treatment because the rehab process has gotten a lot better over the years. And also, yeah, that is roughly on timeline for when someone would be back. Like it's like ideally he'll be back week 1. There's a chance he misses it and is back week 2, but that's not out of the ordinary for an ACL recovery. DTR and shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, looking to throw in 2nd and 5. Has some time, pass right side, is wide open with space inside the 30. It stays on his feet to the 25 and out of bounds roughly at the 24. There is a penalty marker down as that's Justin Ross on the reception. All right, what's the penalty here? Roughing the passer against the Storm. They're going to tack onto this. Yeah. It's not possible. Like, faking injuries in the NFL is not easy. And like most of the times when like in college you see this quite a bit, you have players like going down for like a fake injury. Most of the time there, it's less like it's less they don't feel anything and more so that they might feel like a tiny thing. And they're told if that happens late in the game, just go down, we'll examine. But that doesn't happen in the NFL. Handoff up the middle, gonna be a gain of roughly 2. Or loss of roughly 2. Yeah. Devontae Beckett on the tackle for loss there. And also the injuries that do typically get faked in like college and other sports aren't ACL tears. They're more minor stuff that don't need massive examinations with. And don't have you miss weeks of time. Handoff up the middle, going to be a gain of roughly 3 to get the yards right back. Snoop Connor on the carry. It'll be a 3rd and roughly 10 coming up. All right, 3rd and 9 or so. DTR and shotgun back to his right, 3 receivers to the left, play clock winding down, and they're going to get this timeout called, I guess, in time. It was close. There's the Stallions' first timeout. And also, like, the Chiefs' season was just bad in general. Like, there was no covering up that, yeah, they underperformed last year. They won 6 games. No amount of anything late in the season could have covered that up. Yeah. Yeah, again, Mahomes tried his best that year. But there was so many other things off with the Chiefs last year. And the big thing was they just were not it's just they weren't able to close out the 1-score games to the same extent as they were the year prior. Which is to be expected. I expect that same thing for multiple teams next year. Because that's just the nature of things. DTR and shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, 3rd and 9 from the Orlando 11. Looking to throw, pass right side is caught in the end zone for 6. It is Justin Ross extending this lead. Oh, the Stallions are cooking, scoring on back-to-back drives. I'm a bit surprised as well early on, but at the same time, DTR played okay last week. He's going against a weaker defense in Orlando compared to DC. So I'm not too surprised. Plus, again, this is a rematch game, and those always tend to be a bit on the weirder side. All right, the extra point is up, and it is right down the middle. Wait, is that real? I wasn't really keeping up a lot with the stats for the Chiefs last year. Was he actually their lead-in rusher last year? If so, that's hilarious. Yeah, true. Corral was limited a lot of what the Stallions offense wanted to do. So by them bringing in a more mobile quarterback, they're able to open up the offense a bit better. Okay, no, he wasn't their lead-in rusher. Kareem Hunt had just over 600 yards, but he was up there. Yeah. Him being the third leading rusher on that team was something. At some point in the season he might have been, but end of season, not quite. Still, he was one of their more efficient runners. You know, because if you want to see a truly bad Russian offense in the NFL, all you have to do is look at 2019 Miami. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the leading rusher for that team that year with 275 yards. It was not a good Russian offense. Yeah, so if you account but even then, like Pacheco played one less game than Mahomes, and he had a few more. But again, he's still top 3 for that team, which is insane. When they could definitely use other guys in the ground game. All right, add commercial break after the touchdown drive for the Stallions. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Orlando gonna need a drive here soon. There's no not this early in the game. They wouldn't go away from Plummer. 4:13 to play in the first. All right, kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 8. Space up past the 20, 25, past the 30, 35. Going to be past the 40, 45, and finally brought down near midfield at the 49. Chris Rowland on the return, and he does that well. Was an all UFL return man last year for the DC Defenders. I think that's one of his first return attempts, it feels, with the Storm this season. Maybe probably want to get him out there a bit more. All right, so 1st and 10. Yeah, Plummer under center, back behind him, 2 receiving options to each side. And he bobbles the snap again, looking to throw. Has some time, pass left side, wide open. It's caught past midfield to about the 35 of the Stallions. KJ Hamler on the grab. That's the 2nd time now. He has bobbled the under center exchange. This time it wasn't a turnover like the first time. All right, so Plummer and shotgun back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Plummer looking to throw once again. Dump off over the middle. Has space. Inside the 20, the 15. Fighting his way inside the 10. And brought down right around the 6. Yeah, dump off going that far, you will take it. It's Steven Stellanos on the reception. Makes it 1st and goal, Orlando. Yeah, Stallions sent a ton of pressure. Left the middle of the field wide open. Made it too easy. All right, Plummer under center, back behind him too, receiving options to each side. Ball on the 7-yard line. Gonna hand this off going left on the jet sweep, and there's space inside the 5 for Chris Rowland. He's gonna get down to about the 3. All right. So 2nd and goal coming up. Plummer and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Ball on roughly the Stallion 3-yard line. Plummer going to look to throw. Pass left side is going to be incomplete. Trying a goal line fade to Elijah Badger. Couldn't connect. Mario Goodrich in coverage. Going to be a 3rd and goal. Yeah, those goal line fades, I never really like them. They work occasionally if you have the right receiver out there. But, yeah. It doesn't help that was underthrown. I think if he throws that with more air towards that back quarter, you have a chance with it. But, again, you need a near perfect throw on the goal line fades for them to work. All right, 1:55 to play in the quarter. And we're seeing we're going to have a timeout called here before 3rd and goal. Yep, Orlando calls their first. All right. So 3rd and goal. I mean, they're pretty even total yards wise. Because again, Orlando had a good opening drive besides the goal line fumble, a goal line red zone fumble. So Plummer and shotgun for 3rd and goal. 4 receivers to the right, 1 lone receiver towards the left. Motion someone from that right, gonna quick throw right side for the receiver screen, and he's gonna get in. It's Chris Rowland in to put the Storm on the board finally in this one. All right, they cut into this deficit. I'm trying to have a career in sports. I'm doing internships this summer at 2 places to try and do that. I also did. It's the same place I did internships last summer as well. So I'm trying, but we'll see if it pans out. If not, and this just blows up, I'm cool with that as well. Yeah, I do want to get a career in sports to some degree. That was the initial plan before I started all this, was to be a professional player, but that didn't pan out. So this is like the other mindset of it. Extra point is up and good. Yeah, I got things planned out. Seemingly I have stuff properly lined up, but we'll see how the internships go. And that's also part of the reason why this is the last stream in this setup for a few months. All right, 1:51 to play in the first. We head to a commercial break. Cool. Yeah, this could be a fun one. I will say the Storm defense can need to step up a little bit here. They've given up some quick touchdown drives. Their offense is kind of, I mean, 6-play drive, 7-play drive, 5-play drive. Like the offense is moving a little bit. We'll see if the defense can start to contain better. But at commercial break. Yeah. I'm not gonna be picky in terms of like what exactly I would do in a career centered around sports. Just because I just want to do something with sports. I can't see myself sitting in like sitting in like a standard office building doing that kind of stuff. I want to I want to be sports centered. So hopefully everything plans out that way. And the internships are gonna help with all of it. As well as the some of the connections I'm lucky to have with all of it. So we'll see. That I'm not sure if I'll go that far with everything because I don't envy those people at all because those are tough decisions to make. And it's fun to do them in video games and that way, but I could not be one that has to deal with like the day-to-days of all that. I'll be fine being behind a mic somewhere or even behind the camera if I have to be a part of that team. But I couldn't see myself in the front office proper. It would be cool to experience like to like look like be a fly on the wall for it, but hmm. Kickoff going to be returned beginning from about the 7 space up past the 2025 to about the 27. Showing an old game for Dorian Thompson-Robinson where he went toe to toe with Caleb Williams in college. Man, I thought DTR was gonna at least stick around in the NFL after his rookie year in Cleveland. I thought he was gonna stick somewhere, but was never quite able to. Hopefully he'll get back. All right, now there's a penalty on the play as well. Refs are discussing this. Personal foul against the Stallions is the call. Gonna push them back some after the return. All right. Yeah. The Stallions shoot themselves in the foot, not as much as Columbus has this season, but pretty damn close to it. As yeah, I mean, I get the penalty. At the same time, he was just finishing his block through the end of the whistle, which I'm not gonna be too upset by a player doing. Maybe there was something he said that you can't hear in the broadcast, but just from the looks of it, I'm not massively hating. DTR faking the toss left. Now going to dump this off left side for halfback screen. Has space past the 25 and brought down right around the 29. All right, things all work out. It is Tyron Davis Price on the reception there for the halfback screen. So 1st and 10 coming up. A minute 15 to play in the first. Gonna have probably 2 or so more plays left to go in the quarter. Also announced like yesterday, the Stallions released Laviska Shenault. So that's a tough one for this offense. Pass over the middle, gonna be caught, and that's a gain of about 1 on the receiver mid-screen for John Ross. Not much room, thanks to a good tackle by Josh Minkins. I like the play call. Yeah, I like the play call. Those linemen need to lay their blocks. Because if those two linemen lay their blocks there, John Ross has room to run. DTR and shotgun back to his right, 3 receivers to the right as well. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time to hand this off left side, and that's going to be a gain of roughly 2. It is Davis Price on the carry once again, and that should get us to the end of the first quarter. It'll be a 3rd and roughly 8 or so, 7-ish, coming up for the Stallions. Yep, that's the end of the first 15 minutes in the book. Stallions lead by 7. A really damn good first quarter for them, but can they continue it throughout the final 3? That'll be the test. We head to a commercial break. Yeah, those. It is so funny. The refs you suck chants are always funny, especially in football. They're a bit funny because of when they occur. But like in hockey, they're also great. At least from personal experience, I have not heard those chants a lot in basketball. At least like off the broadcast mics that the NBA uses, I haven't heard it. But I'm sure those do exist there. But it just doesn't seem like to the same degree, and it's kind of interesting to me because there are a few officials in the NBA that are like not like known to not be good officials. But even then, like even then, with all of it, Boston fans in general are are a fun bunch to deal with. Like within the span of 2 nights, they had the Bruins eliminated from the NHL playoffs, and then the Celtics eliminated, both at home. So on top of that and everything, like Boston fans are a treat. Speaking of the NBA, the Pistons are leading on the Magic at the half. So the Magic really did just blow that series after 23 missed shots in a row in Game 6. Which it's weird it's weird how the Stallions secondary is kind of bad, because a lot of that secondary is still retained from their UFL championship in 2024 and from their conference championship team last year. It doesn't make sense why it's not able to perform to the same degree. But yeah, I mean, it is slowly getting to the point where you might need to shake something up with it. Yeah. Again, there's always a few there's always a few players scattered around every league that like I want to see succeed, even if they're not on a team I want to see succeed. So my mindset for that is always, you know, get to the playoffs, win a game or so, like win a game in the playoffs, and then from there just get eliminated. So that way someone else have a decent success in the playoffs, but until you go somewhere else, don't win it all just yet. Just getting back from commercial break, start of the second quarter. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in shotgun, back to his left for 3rd and 7. Ball on their own 32-yard line. 2 receivers to each side. Storm looking like they're sending pressure here, and they're going to. DTR looking to throw. Pressure coming, pass left side. Going to be off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Justin Ross. Storm sent, I think that was 6. Either way, they're going to punt after this. Yeah, they sent 6. But it wasn't even like, it was a delayed corner blitz from the right side, but that wasn't even what got home for them. It was up the middle stuff. It was Darian Butler who gets home there to force the bad pass. And the Stallions will punt. Yeah. Malachi Lawrence right now is the main one over in Dallas. All right, punt comes off clean, going to be returned for roughly 5 up to the 25-yard line. I want to see Malachi Lawrence succeed so bad, but I just don't want the Cowboys to win. So for at least the first 2 or so years of his career, I'm just like, have a Myles Garrett like run. But then once you leave Dallas, as long as it's not to Bills, Jets, or Patriots, then go off in the playoffs. Jordan Ta'amu is right now like the most consistent quarterback in the league, and that's the main gauge for me in quarterback plays. I'd rather someone be a consistent 70% passer with like 200 yards and a touchdown each week than someone that throws for damn near 400 but is a pretty bad touchdown to interception ratio. Pass over the middle on 1st and 10, going to be incomplete. Looking for Chris Rowland. There's a penalty down on this. Are they saying he got there early? They're saying DPI against the Stallions, saying he got there early. Being called against Trey Norwood. In full speed. Yeah, he gets there early. He gets there early, goes through his back. Like Jordan Ta'amu, I would say is the most consistent and the best. In terms of potential wise, I'm still putting stuff in that Austin Reed bucket for potential. I think he has the best potential out of everyone in the league. Plummer pass over the middle for the tight end screen, gonna have space. Enough for the first, down to roughly midfield at the 49, and Sean Bowman on the reception. It feels that way, especially with the Stallions. It feels that they're tighter with some calls. It could also just be this ref crew specifically, because there's been other games this year where they've let them play. And the thing with all of this is, I'm pretty sure most of the refs we see here are going to be potential replacement refs in the NFL next year. So that's going to be interesting. In Wildcat, Jayshon Corbin keeps it himself for a gain of roughly 2 to get past midfield. Which, yeah, but the replacement refs next year, if that does end up being the case, we're in the month where the ref association in the NFL need to figure out a new CBA. If they can't, and we have to deal with replacement refs, next year's gonna be fun. Plummer under center, back behind him. Going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space for Jayshon Corbin to about the 45-yard line. They better. At the same time, I am totally down for another failed Mary to happen, because that would be funny. Uh, 3rd and 3 coming up. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Ball on roughly the Stallion 44-yard line. Going to look to throw, dump off right side is enough for the first. Inside the 40, and going to get to about the 36 is Jayshon Corbin on the reception. It feels good not having really any expectations for the upcoming NFL season. And I'm just able to like watch the Dolphins without, feeling like they need to win every game. At the same time, it's gonna be a pretty hectic season all around, because there's a ton of those divisions that are up in the air right now. It feels. Handoff up the middle, going to be a gain of roughly 2 or 3 for Corbin. He's good as well. He's just not consistent as a passer. Like he'll make some insanely good throws, and then he'll be off the mark by a few yards. And I feel like by this point, like you pretty much know what his accuracy situation is gonna be. Whereas I feel like someone like Austin Reed, you can still develop his accuracy a tiny bit. Plummer play action, looking to throw in 2nd and 7. Pressure coming, avoids one would-be sack. Has some time, rolling to his right, and gonna throw this one away incomplete. Cool. All right, 3rd and 7 coming up. $10:45 to play in the half. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Ball roughly on the Stallion 33-yard line. Going to look to throw. Has some time, stepping up, pass over the middle, gonna be caught inside the 5 and brought down at the 4. KJ Hamler on the grab, making it first and goal Orlando, and that's a great example of what I mean by his accuracy is a little bit of an issue. Hamler was wide open back there. If that ball's even a tiny bit higher, it's a walk-in touchdown. Instead, he had to go down basically to one knee to catch it, and it allowed the Stallions to make the tackle. Trey Norwood with the touchdown save and tackle. Plummer going to hand this off up the middle for Jayshon Corbin, and it's a loss of 2. Kavanta Zeno on the tackle for loss. Going to be second and goal coming up. Yeah. All right, 9:35 to play in the half. Second and goal from roughly the 5. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receiving options to the right. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time as he looks to throw. Rolling right, buying some time, still looking for the end zone, and it's going to be caught in the front corner by KJ Hamler. And the Storm are an extra point away from tying things up. So after a great start for the Stallions, the Storm have turned things on it. The Storm have shifted the tide in this with back-to-back touchdowns for themselves. Yeah, the Stallions started the game with back-to-back touchdown drives. Now the Storm have them as back-to-back for themselves. Extra point to tie things up. It is up, and it is right down the middle. Yeah. Oh, and there's a penalty on a PAT. It's a false start against the Storm. They have to re-kick. I had a friend that tried to get me into Valorant, but I just couldn't. It wasn't my type of game. The closest I've gotten to like really being invested in any of those like hero shooters was Marvel Rivals, but even then after a while I got burnt out. I just haven't gone back. Extra point up, and it is good nonetheless. So this game's tied. Gonna head to a commercial break with it. Head into commercial break. Yeah, it is a lot of games nowadays are insane file sizes for seemingly no reason. And there's just like it's just all around poor optimization going on right now. Which it doesn't fully affect me because I'm not really like I play a few games on PC, like when I play with friends and stuff, but I'm more so PlayStation. Like it doesn't fully impact me, but still like so some of these games and their optimizations are insanely poor. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. They probably could get that down a little lower, but at least that's still better than other games that are like what the new Forza is like 150 gigs for a racing game. It makes no sense. Sports games are notoriously bad with optimization for file sizes. It's crazy how much they take up. Yeah. Yeah. The Discord activities, those are occasionally fun. We don't use them that often. All right, add commercial break. Should be getting out of it here soon, as they're re-showing the stuff from earlier with the Beck and McCarron storyline they're building for this. The Sudoku should not be doing that no matter what. Just using that's crazy. Of all things, to just there was a period of time where where I played it a lot, but I do still like Picross. There's just like not a lot of releases nowadays for it, which is fine. But like they're like even then like some of those Picross games were not fully optimized, which is crazy. All right, kickoff underway. 9:10 to play in the half. Going to be returned beginning from the 12. Space out past the 20, past the 25. Room past the 30, 35, and brought down right around the 36. It said, okay, they said he stood up to about the 37 there, but I think it was down. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I obviously would have watched you play Kingdom Hearts 2 last night, but I had other stuff to do. All right, ball on their own 35. Yeah, saying he was down. DTR and shotgun back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Play clock winding down, under 5 seconds to get the snap off in time as he looks to throw. Pass over the middle is caught. Going to break off one tackler and has room past the 40 and that down to about the 42. Justin Ross on the grab. Yeah, they're horribly optimized, but some of them are fun. Spellcast was great. I believe it's still there, although I think they changed it with a similar one from last time we checked those out. Oh, I just thought of something I need to tell Toasted for the next time the Knicks play. DTR and shotgun going to hand this off up the middle. Breaks off one tackler behind the line and going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage after bouncing it out towards the left. Snoop Connor on the carry. At least he got back to the line because he was met initially about 2 yards behind it. All right, 8 minutes to play in the half. Or the Pirates. I think I remember the Pirates world decently well. It's been a while since I've seen stuff on KH2. DTR and shotgun back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time. Pass over the middle is caught just past midfield to the Storm 49-yard line for Jaden Mickens. 7.5 to play in this. Yeah. But it is a great day to be a Boston sports fan hater. The next hate watch in the NBA for me is going to be probably the 76ers, though. Depending on who... What's the second round matchups in the East? Because I know the West is pretty much all set. DTR looking to throw in 1st and 10. Pressure coming and going to break off 2 would-be sacks. Throwing one deep right side, and it's incomplete inside the 10. Looking for Jordan Thomas. Arguably could have been a penalty there against the Storm. But going to be a 2nd and 10 nonetheless. Then I know we have 2 Game 7s going right now. With the Magic and Piston playing and Raptors Cavs. Yes, yeah, I'll be hate watching the 76ers then. Just for that round. And then afterwards I'm not gonna care too much.
I have another. I have some NHL hate. I have one more NHL hate watch to do, which is when Montreal and Tampa played tonight. All right, DTR and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left. Going to play action and look to throw. Pass over the middle is caught for the first. Pass the 35 to the 34. Justin Ross on the grab. Yeah. I'm like I want to see the Spurs do well. But I don't really care too much for Lakers Thunder though. Okay, like the Western Conference doesn't. I don't care too much about that in the NBA. In the NHL, like there are some teams I don't really like there, but those teams have kind of been eliminated now. DTR and shotgun looking to throw in first and 10. Dump off over the middle. Can he be caught with space? Past the 30. A good stiff arm gets him to the 25. It's Snoop Connor on the reception. Gain of 9.5 or so. Gonna be a 2nd and 1 coming up, and there's a penalty now. I would be cool with Sabres versus Wild. Though, who was the President's Trophy winner in the NHL this year? That's gonna decide who I think will make the finals or play a role in it at least. Oh, Colorado was okay. It's hands to the face against the Storm is the penalty. Okay. Yeah, so honestly, Buffalo Wild would be a fun playoff or a fun final. I would also like to see Anaheim a little bit go, just because of how young them being a young team. So what is the? Oh yeah, Colorado played Minnesota this round. All right, then yeah. Yeah, I kind of don't want Carolina to advance, but I also don't fully care because, yeah, we'll see. I'm just glad Edmonton got eliminated first round, and I'm hoping Tampa does the same tonight. That's my things with the NHL. I'm also just waiting for the draft lottery now for that because that should be coming up relatively soon. DTR and shotgun back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side. First and 10 from the 25 of Orlando. Going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space inside the 20 to 15. Spinning his way down to the 10. It's Tyron Davis Price. Gonna be first and goal for Birmingham coming up. Oh yeah, in 2 days is the NHL draft lottery. I'll keep my eye on that. All right, DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Man in motion left to right. DTR keeps it himself left side off the read option and going to lose about 4. Yeah, that play never really stood a chance. All right, 4.5 to play in the first half. The Stallions get ball to begin the second half as well, so they're in a good spot here, even with the game being tied. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. Play clock winding down. You get the snap off in time as they hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of roughly 3 or so for Snoop Connor. So I get it that Anthony McFarland has kind of just been relegated to running back 3 for this team, huh? All right, DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on roughly the Orlando 12-yard line. Same 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Pass over the middle. It's caught by Mickens through a heavy hit. Down to the 6. It's a 4th down coming up. But a great catch through some heavy contact there. And there is a penalty down as well. They're gonna, if they call this a personal foul, it's a big hit, but it's not personal foul worthy. After the play, some sportsmanlike conduct against the Stallions. So we'll push them back 15 from the end of the play. It'll be a 4th and long coming up. And I don't think it matters too much. You're probably going to kick the field goal anyway. But now they're definitely going to send out the field goal unit. Which, again, it's funny how you're the one flexing after that hit. It's just a mental error from Mickens. Oh, is also he took off his helmet. That's what got him with it, not the flexing. All right, so 4th and 19. Out comes Andres Carlson. It is up and it is good. It curls back through the right upright. And so the Stallions got themselves a new kickers in Andres Carlson. And I think it's gonna be they're gonna be better off for it. If I'm not mistaken, he was with the Packers briefly. I know he's the brother to the Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson. Hey, he was with the Packers. Remembering where kickers were in certain times is not the easiest. Yeah, it's a lot of just weird mental errors. And yeah, he was with the Packers briefly. Yeah, like the draft lottery works fine. The NBA is being weird with it right now. Don't look at the NBA with it. The NBA is on they're on something with this draft lottery changes they want to make. The draft lottery is fine. It's not the greatest system. I do prefer the NFL's way of doing it, but like I do also kind of like the intensity, not the intensity, the suspense that the lottery brings. Yeah, well, so currently in the NBA, I think this is all this is all kind of also how the NHL does it. As long as you don't make the playoffs, you do have a very small chance to win the lottery. But they want to change it to where like pretty much every team within the play-in, as long as they don't win the championship, every team within the play-in is gonna have like the same odds as the worst 3 teams in the league, and then all the teams in between there are gonna have slightly better odds. It's dumb what they want to change it with. I could go on a whole rant about that lottery system, which is how it doesn't make a lot of sense. There's ways to do there's ways to flatten the lottery odds, which is essentially what they want to do. They want to flatten the odds. But there's ways to do it to where it still makes sense. All right, kickoff underway. Going to bounce and be returned beginning from the 5. Space up past the 15. Gonna have room to about the only like 17-yard line. Great kick coverage from the Stallions. Yeah, it's I can go into more detail with it and I might, if they do like commit to the change, I might make a video on it. But it is really dumb. And then there's like other stipulations with it as well, to where like you can't win the lottery in back-to-back years. You can't finish in a certain spot for more than 3 years. They're overcomplicating it for no reason. Well, there is a reason in their mind, and that's, they're being pressured to do so by the sports books, but still, it's stupid. Plummer in shotgun back to his left, going to look to throw in 1st and 10. Pass left side, going to be caught past the 25. Breaking some tackles, trying to find room along that sideline. Eventually stood up at the 27 for a gain of 9. All right. So 2nd and 1. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on their own 27-yard line. Plummer going to look to throw. Has some time, shifting to his right. Pass over the middle is high and incomplete. Looking for Steven Stallions. Yeah, well, the first thing is the NBA doesn't do a point style for the Stallions. They do simple win-loss record. As we're at the 2-minute warning. So the NBA doesn't do that. Part of the reason they don't is because... What is part of the reason? I don't know, it just had never handled it that way. The NHL does the 2-1-0 point system, which I think works fine for what they want to do. Yeah, like, so the NBA as a whole is just it's a weird product right now. It feels like it could be better. It also feels like it could be a lot worse, and they're balancing on that line right now. Well, part of the reason why they don't is that overtime games aren't as common in the NBA as it is in the NHL and the PWHL. There's never really a need to have that differentiation because there are multiple teams that do not play a single overtime game the entire season. Like, that's just how that sport is. So that's part of the reason why that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for it. In the same way that that kind of point system wouldn't make sense in the NFL because overtime games just don't happen that often. I think because we had the Packers Cowboys tie-in last year. What was the other overtime games? Rams Seahawks, Packers Bears, the second meeting. Was there any others? No, that Rams 49ers was overtime. I feel like there's one more I'm forgetting about last year in the NFL. Oh yeah, Dolphins Commanders was overtime. I mean, in that case, I think there's another one I'm forgetting. But there might have been 6 last year. All right, just getting back from commercial break for the 2-minute warning. Two minutes to play this one. Stallions get ball to begin the second half. So Storm gonna need something here. It could work, but the NBA seems pretty set to do a lottery system. They just need to figure out exactly what to do with it. Me and so many others are saying just don't change it because it makes sense how it is currently. But again, the sports books are gonna come in and decide things. Plummer pass right side after the play action, seemingly gonna be caught by Chris Rowland. It'll be enough for the first as they go quick. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 2 receivers to each side, and there's a stoppage before the snap. I think the Stallions got this challenge off here. Oh no, it's going to be a false start against the Storm. So was this actually caught? It was a low throw. Oh no, that bounces. It bounces in his hands. Well, yeah, but because the main reason that the reason the league is given, aka the reason that the sportsbooks are also given, is they want to get rid of tanking, even though it's not a massive issue in the league. So if you add it to where only after you get eliminated, you start building those points, teams are gonna be tanking to a much higher degree. So that they can try to get eliminated as fast as possible and then start building the wins. No, but it's a correct call for it to be incomplete. Yeah, they overturned it, so it's 4th and 1. So the Stallions are gonna have a great opportunity here. So 4th and 1. Storm set to send this one down. All right, Jack Browning on to send this one down. And the Stallions find themselves in a great spot at the end of the half. Punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the 10. It's a great punt. Face past the 15 and going to be brought down right around the 20. That's a great punt to flip the field, though. Yeah, that was a brilliant punt there to flip the field. All right, with a minute 46 to play in the half, we go to a commercial break. At commercial break. All right, at commercial break. Stallions again in a good spot getting the ball. They get the ball to begin the second half. Ball here at the end of the half. Doug can double up real easily. I don't know, just something feels off on that Storm sideline, and it has for the past 2 or so weeks. But now it's like truly getting there. Yeah, that's true as well. But like part of it all is the NBA is claiming there's tanking and they don't want there to be tanking. When the actual reason and everything is just teams are just bad. Like teams are just bad. But the league is saying that they're tanking. So so they're creating a problem and now trying to fix the problem that they mentally created. It's bottom line, Adam Silver sucks. One of the worst commissioners in sports right now. I'm not gonna say the worst because the MLB exists, but Adam Silver has not been doing a good job the past few years. All right, DTR looking to throw from shotgun. Pass deep left side. Gonna be caught by Justin Ross along the sideline. The toe tap. Gonna put the Stallions right around midfield. And they're just, again, the Stallions are in a fantastic spot. That's a great catch along the sideline from Justin Ross. DTR gonna hand this off up the middle. That gets to midfield for the gain of roughly 4 for Snoop Connor. More teams should do the NFL method, but they won't because reasons, I guess. DTR going to look to throw in 2nd and 6. Pass over the middle is incomplete. Looking for John Ross. I think they could bounce off his helmet. So 3rd and 6 coming up. That's only the 3rd incompletion of the game for DTR. He's playing really damn well now that he has more than 3 days in this system. Okay, no, it gets tipped, but it would have bounced off John Ross's helmet. He was now looking back towards the ball at all. In shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. 3rd and 6 to get the snap off in time as he looks to throw. With time, passing deep over the middle, going to be off the market, incomplete. Looking for John Ross once again. So 4th and 6, and the Stallions wasted the opportunity. Now the Storm will have their own. Again, it's the correct read. It's open. Just missed him. Yeah. I mean, like, so with the first one, on 2nd down, I like the throw. Maybe want him to like put it a bit more down the field and let him run underneath it a bit better. And then again, like that one there, like it's the correct decision. He's open. Again, just got a bit too excited, missed it by a little bit. It's a tough one. The Storm called their 2nd timeout now. Yeah, again, like the lottery is fine. I don't get why the NBA is trying to change it like this. All right. Birmingham set to send this one down. Punt comes off clean, going to be fair caught at about the 11. The Storm will start from there with 1:04 to play in the half and 1 timeout, trying to get to a field goal range. Yeah, it's been an off game for Jack Plummer. I mean, it's been an off game, but it's been a very back and forth game for him. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad mistakes. In shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ball on the 10. So they need to go roughly 50 or so yards. Plummer looking to throw. Pass left side is caught. Gets past the 20 and down to about the 21. So it's enough for the first. And they go hurry up. It was Sam Wiglas on the reception. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw once again. Has some time. A shovel pass forward. Going to be caught, but brought down short of the line to gain. Down to about the 28. So they have to go quick. Elijah Dotson on the reception. 43 seconds to play in the half. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. You're letting time run a bit too much here. Plummer looking to throw, and there's a stoppage before the snap. This might be a penalty on the snap. They're letting too much time run off there. Is false start against the Storm. So push them back 5. Yeah. Well, the NBA is the same way as well. Like all the leagues, players are paid based off how well they do. No one's gonna actively be tanking because it doesn't make sense. So that's why the whole point is like Adam Silver, the NBA, and the sports books are fabricating a tanking issue just so that way they can change something and get more headlines and fix the league. It's stupid. Yeah, the NFL method is fine. Yeah, now with no timeouts remaining, I would be kind of shocked if they don't try and just get this to halftime, but we'll see. With 35 seconds left and a kicker that can kind of hit from distance, we'll see. Yeah. And again, like the players don't. It's just, the idea is that teams are purposely putting together bad rosters when that's just often not the case. Like a good example, the Utah Jazz, who are another bad team this year, like they're just a very young roster. The players haven't developed yet. And that's why that they weren't really performing up to stuff. Plummer in shotgun, looking to throw in 2nd and 8. Quick pass right side, can be caught by Roland. Not gonna get enough for the first, but get those yards back from the false start. They have to go quick if they want something here. 25 seconds to play in the half. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw. Dump off over the middle is caught. Going to be enough for the first. Pass to 35 to the 36. 12 seconds to play in the half. They're going hurry up and they're going to spike this. There's the spike. 10, 11 or so seconds left. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, 11 seconds to play in the half. So in theory, they can take one shot towards field goal range, which would be roughly the Birmingham 39-yard line, and then go from there. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well, looking to throw. Has some time, a dump off left side, and going to get past the 40, 45, and out of bounds around the 45, but only 4 seconds remain. So you're going to have to take one shot towards the end zone, it seems, unless they get lucky with a penalty. Yeah, and the way the NFL schedule works, it kind of doesn't make tanking possible either. But no, just the NBA feels so full of themselves at times, and this is one of those moments where they just feel full of themselves for no reason. Plummer looking to throw. Final play of the half. Stepping up, gonna pass this over the middle. It's caught. A big hit to the 33. KJ Hamler under reception. Trey Norwood laying the wood, and we go to halftime. That was a dangerously hard hit. Not because like it was, health wise, but because if that would have been helmet to helmet on accident, that would have given the Storm 3 points and a half. That in college, I would not be surprised if that gets initially called for targeting and then changed. Because that was being a bit risky. I do not believe those two are related, no. Nor do I care. Oh yeah, I did see that. You got some frame drops. Should be fine though. Yeah. That can happen occasionally. As long as it doesn't completely like shut down or completely lose connection for minutes on end, I'm fine. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true about the Stallions. Yeah, it's a great hit. But man, that was dangerous. Yeah, it was just for a couple seconds. I don't. I mean, as long I don't care too much. Main thing is the audio. Is I want it to be consistent. The visuals are extra, at least for the time being. I do have plans to make the visuals have more to it, just not while I have to use this laptop on the occasion. Yeah, YouTube can do that. It's weird. Anyway, we're just reaching halftime. I'll quickly be right back. All right, I'm back. It could also is the other thing with YouTube chat that can be a bit weird is if it's set to top chat, it won't show some of the messages, and just as long as it's live chat, because I make sure I have that set to live chat. That way I can actually see a lot of it. And also just other like YouTube chat can be weird as a viewer. I've had instances where it freezes for a few minutes for no reason. Weird. Who knows? That's the joy with YouTube. It can. It really can. Oh yeah, but speaking of, yeah, so last night I was at a comedy club as there was a comedian in town. There was a drink that they served there that was legit dangerously good. I didn't get like I didn't have too much of it because I had to drive later that night anyway to get back. But like it was damn good. I forget what exactly was in it, but yeah. Also, yeah, it was a great time last night. That's part of the reason why like it took me like half a drive or so at the beginning of this game to like get back to form because I was still tired from being up that late. That's how does that how does YouTube mess up like that? What? I don't get YouTube sometimes. Oh, they're showing highlights from the previous games this week, and now they're showing the Houston ones. It got me thinking. Last night, yesterday, the Houston Gamblers have signed. Well, first off, they waived Sam Castronova, so he's no longer going to be a quarterback over there. But they signed John Rice Plumlee to add to the quarterback room as injuries are still continuing to plague the Gamblers. They still need quarterback, so John Rice Plumlee is being added, and I'm very excited to see what he can do for Houston. I loved him at UCF; he was great. Now and then like he spent some time on practice squads in the NFL. He also like shifted to receiver very briefly in the NFL. So like they can get some very fun packages for him in Houston. So I'm very curious to see to what degree he's gonna have a role there. I don't expect too much instantly, but I think at some point seeing him there could be really fun for that team. Yeah. It could have also been something where it took a while to like publish the comment, and by the time it did, you were already on a different video, so it just published to that one. You Birmingham, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, former UCLA Bruin, former Cleveland Brown, someone that I did like because he had a few games in the NFL where like he showed promise for Cleveland. It just never worked out there. I was shocked he didn't stick around elsewhere. But he's now here and trying to get back, and he's been playing really well in this game. Yeah, because we're at halftime. Yeah, it is a revenge game. It was after the second touchdown. For the Stallions, he after the second touchdown for the Stallions, he got caught on the hot mic yelling at the Orlando sideline saying that I should have been your quarterback, and it was funny seeing that afterwards. And to be fair, I don't blame him for thinking that way. Yeah, they're showing that on the broadcast now as well. Because I did really like during during training camp, I thought DTR was gonna win that job in Orlando. I was not expecting to be Jack Plummer. At the very least, I expected them to go with 2 QB system, but eh. I mean, like Plummer has played fine this year, but I do think DTR would have been a nice spark to have. Also, someone's there wearing someone's there wearing an Orlando Magic jersey. How's that game 7 going? Orlando's down by 21. Damn, they really just blew a 3-1 lead to the Pistons, just like in 03. All right. We're still at the half. Probably DC St. Louis is my lean. I'm not too sure though. Like DC, I think is a near lock to make the championship. Their final month of games is a back-to-back against Louisville and then a back-to-back against Orlando. So I feel pretty confident in saying that they're going to be in. In terms of the others, I'm not. And the others I can see go a few different ways. Patriots. That's more so Patriots. Yeah. So when the Pistons last won the finals for the NBA, in the first round, they were also down 3-1 to the Magic and came back as the 1 seed going against the 8th seed. So history is just repeating itself right now. So it would be really funny if the Pistons go on a run. They started the series bad, but the Magic were just worse. Like in any other timeline, the Pistons lost this series in game 6. But the Magic just had to go 23 straight shots missing and not scoring for 45 plus minutes in actual time and blow the game. Oh yeah, the Spurs are my favorite out west. The Spurs are my favorite out west. I think it'll be Spurs and someone. I don't think it really matters. I think there's just shaping up to be the Spurs here. Hey, dude, it's crazy to think that the Magic really blew that. But I guess it's also fair that like, it's funny that we've had 2 teams blow a 3-1 series lead in the same round of the playoffs. As the Celtics did that as well. Alright, second half on the way here soon. Just casually forget. Okay, that's fair. Damn. What caused them to move around like that? as we await the second half kick. Yeah, they're showing DTR's pocket presence in this game. And it's been damn good pocket presence. Definitely be opening them now. Oh, damn, it's kind of shocked it's that tough to find work for a dentist. Damn. I guess that is one of the professions that you could work in one spot for close to 5 decades, if not 5. Because we do have a family friend that is still a practicing dentist, and he's been at it for probably close to like 3 or 4 decades at this point, I would imagine. Yeah, it is one of those professions that you could go a long while with. Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair as well. So it's just, yeah, needing to find the right spot. Yeah, and it's massive just in general. All right, second half underway here soon. And yeah, Amarillo, Texas is not one of those places you hear a lot of good things about, or really anything about in general. All right, second half kick underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 15, space out past the 20, 25, past the 30, past the 35 to 40, and finally brought down at the 41 by the. Is Dion Kane on the return? All right. Good way to start things off for the Stallions. Of footage from the draft release. All right. DTR and shotgun back to his right. Gonna hand this off right side. Gonna be Snoop Connor for a gain of 4. A video from the Eagles Cowboys trade that saw Philly get Micaiah Lemon released. Which that is still funny that the Steelers got jumped like that. Yeah, a few years back he delivered a pick on day 3. No, it was just like footage from the war rooms of the teams of Dallas and Philly released from when they made the trade, which got Micaiah Lemon to Philly. Second and 6, DTR throwing one deep down the left side, going to be overthrown and incomplete. Friendly fire forced the ball loose, should have been picked off. Birmingham gets lucky there. It lands directly on the chest of the Orlando safety. But a collision between, yeah, just friendly fire a bit forces it loose. That's a tough one. Potential game-changing play would have been made. Jason Taylor had it in his hands, but couldn't hang on through the contact. 3rd and 6 coming up. DTR and shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ball at about the 44.5-yard line. Robinson looking to throw. Pass over the middle, caught with space. Going to be enough for the first. Past the 45 to 40. 35, and finally inside the 30 now. And finally fighting his way down to the 29 is Justin Ross. No, they're not going to release Micaiah Lemon. Also, yeah, during the draft, Tom Grossi announced that he's doing the 30 for 30 again. I am going to make sure I am there that time when he is in Miami. I am not missing that this time around. I missed it last time because I was on a family trip to Europe. I'm not missing it this time. DTR going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a loss of about 3. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't want to get traded and go to Boston, but it's not up to him. He does not have a no trade clause. Second and 12 coming up. Yeah. All right, and the Stallions are going to have to burn their first time out. They're not even going to break the huddle before the play clock expired. Yeah, I need to figure out when I want to bring to have him sign. I'll figure it out before, obviously, but I'm just kind of like not sure what it's going to be yet. Jeez, yeah. It's going to help because he's doing, I forget exactly what day it is he's going to be here. I know it's like early June. So like it's going to help that I'm probably going to be in close to the area he's going to be at for the fan meetup. I would just assume. And plus I probably realistically I probably would be just filling up on gas anyway because of my internships being a decent far away. Yeah, I'm making sure I'm going there this time around. DTR and shotgun back to his left, going to fake a toss left and look to throw. Dump off left side, can be caught with some space for Snoop Connor on the receiver on the halfback screen. Gonna get roughly 7 or so there. Yeah, but I'll figure everything out. I have some ideas. I just gotta like see exactly how they would work. It's like 4:37 near me for like the base shit, and it's insane. I think I need to fill up tomorrow for my drive down. DTR and shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. To get the snap off in time on 3rd and 5. Pass right side gonna be caught, and depending on the spot, Mickens might be short. They're gonna say he's short. A fourth and about half a yard coming up. All right, 4th and 1. DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the right. Being a bit aggressive here. They're not a great 4th down team this year. Heading in motion right to left. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's a loss of 2. They turn it over on downs to begin the half. And they moved to 5 and 17 or 5 for 17 on 4th down this season. Yeah. All right, 10:45 to play in the quarter. We go to commercial break. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta figure out exactly like what I want him to sign. If I'm gonna ask him anything, I gotta figure all that stuff out. Because if last year I went to a convention in Boston and I was so not prepared as much as I thought it was for meeting a few people that I wanted to. It worked out though, but yeah, it was the entire time. The entire time you could probably see my leg shaking. It was great. It was almost as if I was doing a presentation in front of the class. So I was feeling that same way. Alright, at commercial break, we await Orlando's first drive of the half. Should be out of commercial break here soon. Alright, just getting back from commercial break. To see what Orlando can do here. Yeah, after the stuff on 4th and inches, and that stood no chance. The 4 Storm players were in the backfield damn near instantly. Just, I don't know what they were thinking going for that. So Plummer under center, back behind him. 2 receiving options to each side, going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space for Jay Sean Corbin. Up past the 35 and brought down right around the 40. Great way to start the drive and a great way to start the half. Now just build off of it. 10.5 to play in the third. Yeah. I'm trying to think of video ideas now as well. I have some in mind. Just getting started on them. It's going to be the question. Handoff up the middle. Going to be a gain of about 5 or 6 for Jay Sean Corbin. Right, 2nd and 3 coming up. $9.50 to go in the third. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Ball on their own 46. Plummer going to look to throw. Quick pass right side. Going to be caught. Breaks off 1 tackler. Breaks off a 2nd. A good stiff arm on the 3rd. And Sean Bowman gets to storm well past midfield to around the 40-yard line of the Stallions. Breaks off 2 defenders and lays a good stiff arm on the 3rd. 1, how is that caught? 2, how does that go for 10 plus yards? Ball on the Stallion 37. Plummer under center, going to hand this off up the middle, and that's a gain of only about a yard. Yeah. Just some small frame droppage here and there, but nothing too major, which is fine. Second and 9 coming up. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. Going to look to throw. Pass over the middle is tipped and incomplete. Should have been intercepted. Tried to fit into a tight window for Chris Rowland. It was read perfectly. Just couldn't hang on to it. Yeah, that dangerous throw should have been picked. Yeah, that being incomplete is pure luck. So Plummer in shotgun back to his right, 3 receiving options to the left. Going to look to throw on 3rd and 9. Pass left side, going to be caught for the first and out of bounds around the 20. It is KJ Hamler on the reception. All right. So first and 10, Plummer under center, gonna hand this off going right, and that's a gain of roughly 5. It's Elijah Dotson on the carry. All right, second and 5 coming up. Plummer under center, gonna hand this off once again, this time to the right, and hand off once again towards the right. Gonna be another gain of roughly 5 for Elijah Dotson. Penalty marker down. This is probably gonna be coming back here with just under 7 minutes to play in the third. Yep, gonna be a holding against the Storms. This is coming back. Second and 15 coming up. All right, second and 15 coming up. Plummer and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Going to look to throw once again. Plummer with some time. Pass over the middle is caught. Going to be enough for the first inside the 10 and down to about the 8. It's Cam Camper on the reception. First and goal coming up. Just under 6.5 to play in the third. All right. So first and goal. Plummer under center, back behind him. Going to hand this off going right for Jay-Sean Corbin. He's going to get about 2. 2.5 or so. Second and goal coming up. Orlando looking for their first lead of the game. 5:45 to play in the third. Plummer and shotgun. 4 receivers to the left. If I'm Birmingham, I'm getting more people on that left side. You kind of know what the play call is gonna be. Yeah, quick pass to the left, and that's Chris Rowland gonna lose about half a yard. More so because someone missed the block, and less because there was a free lane. Like I'm kind of. Yeah, that's Camper missing his block, not necessarily the Stallions reading that too well. I would have put a 5th man on that side. All right, third and goal. Plummer and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on roughly the 6.5 yard line. And it's a bad snap, and the Stallions have it. The second time tonight that the Storm have turned it over off of a bad snap, a bad center quarterback exchange. Both times inside the red zone. Happened on the first drive of the game, happened on the first drive of the second half. How do you do it twice? This time it was from shotgun. .444 to play in the third. It's Stallions ball on roughly the 6. How do you make that mistake twice, man? All right, add commercial break. All right, add commercial break. At commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break after the fumble for the Storm, their second of the game. Also on a bad snap, just like the first one. The fact that has happened twice in this is crazy. Okay, the first one wasn't in the red zone, but it was damn close. So that's for that to happen twice. It could more so just be the card carrier, or it could just be someone on their end. But I know for Amazon, it can sometimes take a little longer. Dump off right side, going to be a gain of roughly 5 for the Stallions. Is Tyler Davis on the grab? All right, 2nd and 5 coming up. 4:15 to go in the third. DTR and shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Going to look to throw. Quick pass right side after slip in is going to get about half a yard. Noob Connor on the grab. Yeah, it's a PayPal, yeah. All right, 3rd and about 5 or so coming up. Yeah, 3rd and 5 after the minimal gain. Just about 3.5 to go in the third quarter. DTR and shotgun back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw once again. Has some time, stepping up and stacked. Back at his own 9. The Storm defense forcing a 3 and out, doing their job to make sure the fumble doesn't actually mean too much. It's Isaiah Bugs into the backfield for the sack. And the Stallions will punt. From backed up in their own territory. Yeah. Yeah. All right, punt comes off clean. And it's a great punt. Going to be returned beginning from the 28. Face up past the 30, past the 35, past the 40, and brought down around the 44s. Chris Rowland on the return. Again, he was an all UFL return man last year, alongside being an all UFL receiver. Chris Rowland, a damn good player that the Storm should try to utilize a bit more, even though they are utilizing him quite a bit in this team. We go to a commercial break with about 2.5 to play in the third quarter. Yeah. Yeah. But some companies are just weird with how their systems work. Can't do too much about it. All right, add commercial break. Yeah. Or you yourself just keep like a mental note about it all, or like a, because like for me sometimes if I like, because I like to plan ahead a bit. So a part of that would be is part of the calculator app on my phone. It has like, I do the math there to figure out, okay, I have this much currently if I spent, and then like go from there and just budget it a bit. Because like, yeah, it does take like a little bit for stuff to get processed, but it doesn't matter too much as long as, you know, you're not reckless and careless with it. You can still be fine. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Ball on their own 45. Plummer under center. Back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. 2.5 to play in the third. Man in motion left to right. Plummer going to hand this off up the middle and going to be met behind the line before fighting. The ball comes loose now and the Stallions have it. The third fumble in this one, unless they rule that down by contact. Was met behind the line, fought back to the line of scrimmage. The ball eventually comes loose. It's Jay Sean Corbin on the carry. Is this a fumble? Yeah, that's a fumble. The first play of the drive, the Storm turn it over, and the Stallions defense playing more so aligned with what we're used to from it during the past few seasons. Yeah, this game has been something. So 2:15 to play. Again, as it sits, they're saying Orlando ball. Well, this can be overturned pretty quickly. Yep, there's the overturn. All right, 2:20 to play. They added 5 seconds back onto the clock. The third turnover of the game for Orlando. And it's a tough one. All right, DTR and shotgun back to his left. Going to look to throw in 1st and 10. Has some time, stepping up, going to look to take it himself. Gets past the 45 and fights his way down to the 41 of Orlando. All right, so 2nd and short-ish coming up. So 2nd and 5. DTR and shotgun going to hand this off up the middle. Going to get past the 40 and down to about the 37 or so. Maybe to say the 38. To mark him just short. All right. 3rd and 1 coming up. A minute to play in the third. So potentially the final play of the quarter. Because they can get this, yeah, they can run this clock down to about 40 seconds if they want to. DTR and shotgun back to his right. Going to toss this right side for Snoop Connor. Has some space, going to pick up the first because inside the 35 and down to about the 33. 45 seconds remain in the quarter. One more play is needed at minimum here. As there's about a 10-second difference between play and game clock. Heard. So 1st and 10, DTR and shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Looking to throw. Pressure coming. Pass left side. Going to be tipped and incomplete. Slightly overthrown in terms of the defender. Nearly picked off. Goes off his fingertips. Had Mickens open, but just missed him slightly on that. And that'll be the end of the third. I kind of get that throw. It's still a dangerous one to even attempt. Both pressure right there, I kind of get it. I would have preferred if that was more so towards the sideline, if anything. Have it act as a throwaway. With 15 minutes remain. 3-point game in Orlando. And after 3 turnovers for the Storm, the Stallions are looking to extend this lead some more. All right, at commercial break. At commercial break. 15 minutes to play in this one. Yeah. Still at commercial break. All right, still at commercial break, awaiting the start of the fourth. Here we go, just out of commercial break, fourth quarter underway. And what should be a pretty solid finish to this game, actually. It's been a bit better than I expected it to be. We have week 7 begins on Friday night between St. Louis and Columbus. Week 7 should be a pretty solid one. Don't have a lot of expectations for some of the games, but you never know. This one has been surprising so far. Dallas and Birmingham next week is the game I am circling in terms of potentially being very interesting. As Dorian Thompson-Robinson in shotgun, looking to throw in 2nd and 10. Has some time, pass left side, going to be caught and down to about the 30. Tyler Davis on the grab, will be a 3rd and about 6 coming up. Yeah, the main game for me next week is going to be Dallas and Birmingham. That one should be fun. That's a night game on that Saturday. All right, 3rd and 6. DTR alone in shotgun. 4 receiving options to the right. One lone receiver to the left. Play clock winding down. To get the snap off in time as he looks to throw. Pass left side off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Justin Ross. So the drive stalls out for the Stallions. They can still extend this lead, kick a field goal, make this a 6-point game with how your defense has been. With how your defense has been playing, that's a pretty solid lead to have at this point. Cool. All right, so 48-yard kick. Out comes Anders Carlson to put the Stallions up by 6. 48 yards out from the left hash. Kick is up, and it is right down the middle with ease. So Stallions lead by 6. With 13:39 to play in the game, and we're going to head to a commercial break, it seems. Yep, so with that, I will quickly be right back. All right. Still at commercial break. About 13 and a half minutes to play in this game. See how this one unfolds. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Let's see what the Stallions defense can do to hold on to this one, and if Orlando can bounce back. The turnovers have been killing them, but they've also just had a few tough drives here and there. Kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 7, spaced out past the 15, out past the 20, going to be past the 25, past the 30, and brought down around the 34. So Jack Plummer will start from there. Yeah, the turnovers have been aplenty. So 1st and 10. Yeah, through the first 5 games of the season, they only had 2 turnovers. They have 3 tonight. All of them being fumbles. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. 1st and 10 from their own 34. Plummer going to look to throw. Stallions send 3. Pass right side. Going to be off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Elijah Badger. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Plummer under center. back behind him. 2 receiving options to each side. Clock winding down. Man in motion right to left. Going to hand this off up the middle. And there's space to the 40-yard lines. A gain of 6 for Jay Corbin. 3rd and 4 coming up. All right, 3rd and 4. I mean, it feels like the Stallions need a win like this. They've been having a tough first half of the season. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. Going to look to throw in 3rd and 4. Has some time, passing one deep left side. Going to be underthrown, but caught. Inside the 30 to the 27. It's Chris Rowland. Again, he is such a good receiver that it feels like the Storm utilize him, but at the same time limit him to a degree. He can make some insane catches. That one for an underthrown ball, he hangs on to it beautifully. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Quick pass right side caught by KJ Hamler. Has good blockers inside the 20 and down inside the 15 to about the 14. Yeah. Yeah. It's the Stallions gave an inch and Orlando was taking yards off of it. Plummer under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be stood up behind the line for a loss of 1. "11 minutes to play in the game. Cool. 2nd and 11 coming up. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. Rowland in the backfield to his right. Motioning Chris Rowland out wide to the left as he looks to throw. Dump off right side, going to be caught for a halfback screen, and it's going to lose about 2 for Jay Corbin. So a 3rd and 13 coming up. And that's the thing with the Stallions. They have a good red zone defense. And showing again tonight. All right, 3rd and roughly 13. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on the Stallion 17-ish yard line. Going to look to throw. Pass over the middle is incomplete. Another dropped interception in this game for the Stallions. That's a tough one. Through his hands. That's the 2nd or 3rd dropped interception in this game. Another just dangerous throw over the middle for Plummer. And the Stallions couldn't hang on to it. Again, they make the red zone stand at least. Going to force a field goal try here from 35 yards out. And the right hash from Michael Lance. Kick is up. And it is good. Sneaks through the right upright. Goes back to a 3-point game with 9:34 to play in this one. So at commercial break off of it. At commercial break. Again, the Stallions can still close out this game on this upcoming drive. With how the clock rules work, if they had about a 10-play drive coming up here, that's like the decent league that gets a decent amount of yards per play, they could kill 5-6 minutes of time and get points off of it. Yep, at commercial break. All right, just coming back from commercial break. Stallions in a good spot here to potentially close this one out. Can they do it? 9:34 to play in the game. Orlando set to send this one down. I mean, a good return can also go a long way forward. It feels like as long as this is a touchdown drive for the Stallions, it will be the icer. But keeping it a one possession game and keeping Orlando in it like that, it's gonna start getting a bit dicey here potentially. All right, kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 3. Space out past the 10, the 15, the 20. Room past the 25, and going to be brought down right around the 29. Pretty damn good return for Deon Cain. It does suck to see Deon Cain pretty much limited to a return man in this game. It shows that the Storm are doing a good job of containing him when he's on the field. But it's also just one of those things where Deon Cain should have been for the Stallions what Hakeem Butler is for the Battlehawks in terms of just being a face of that receiver room. Instead, like again, Jaden Mickett's having a great year, all these other guys having great years. Deon Cain just feels like he could have been so much more. DTR going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 3 or 4 for Tyron Davis-Price. All right, DTR and shotgun looking to throw in 2nd and 8. Rolling to his right to buy some time. Still looking, going to take it himself with space. Enough for the first inside the past the 40 to about the 42. All right, so 1st and 10 coming up. I think you did. Handoff up the middle, going to be a gain of about a yard or so. DTR and shotgun going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a solid carry past midfield to about the 47. Should be enough for the first down for Tyron Davis-Price. Yeah, but that don't matter for that because there's an even funnier joke in relation to it for later season stuff. Yeah. 'Cause it was the episode where he tries Krabby Patties for the first time. Yeah. So I know some jokes that were supposed to be in seasons but weren't. Fall starting the Stallions is the call here. So 1st and 15 coming up. All right, 1st and 15. Gonna hand this off up the middle. Now bounces it out towards the left to Snoop Connor. Past midfield, past the 45 and down to about the 43. There is a penalty down though, so we'll see what this is. Gonna be holding against the Stallions. So it's a 1st and 25 coming up. All right. So again, they were building something on this, but they've kind of just shot themselves in the foot slightly. They can still kill time on this drive, but actually getting points out of it is gonna be a lot tougher. So again, they have a kicker that has a pretty decent leg on him, so we'll see. DTR and shotgun back to his right, gonna hand this off up the middle, trying to bounce it out left side. It's Snoop Connor, gonna get past the 40 and out of bounds around the 43. The other thing is that unless they get this to 2-minute warning, they're gonna have to go for it on this drive. That's kind of where the issues come in. 2nd and 20 coming up. The Knicks don't play today. They await the winner. They play tomorrow against the 76ers. DTR and shotgun gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 3 or so. 3rd and long coming up. 5.5 to play in the game. And yeah, unless they can somehow kill 2.5 minutes of clock here, they're gonna have to go for it on this drive. Nah, I think it would be funny if the Knicks lose in the conference finals again. And have it be against the Pistons. So 3rd and 17. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in shotgun. Play clock winding down. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. To get the snap off in time as he looks to throw. Stepping up, has time, pass right side. Gonna be dropped. Would have gotten inside the 45. It's Dawood Davis, the intended target. So it was a 4th and 17. And the Stallions have to go for it because they've passed midfield on this drive. Unless they say that, okay, because they passed midfield before the penalties happened. So 4th and 17, they have to go for it. They find themselves in a tough spot. Play clock winding down. They're not going to get lined up in time. There's the second timeout called for the Stallions as the play clock was winding down. Now they're in an even worse spot with 4:52 to play. Yeah. The penalties killed the drive. The penalties killed the drive, and they set up Orlando well. The idea is to simply just, get as many yards as you can and try and, maybe a penalty happens. And maybe you get lucky. So 4th and 17. 4:52 to play in this one. Dorian Thompson-Robinson alone in shotgun. Someone just now line. They had 10 men in the huddle, and someone just ran into the field. That's crazy. 3 receivers to the left, the back to his right. There's a mess. How do you just call timeout? How are you not ready? There's a penalty on the snap. You just called timeout. How do you only have 10 people in the huddle? False start on the Stallions is the call. It's a 4th and 22 coming up. This is the shit. This is the shit. When talking about shooting yourselves in the foot, you just called timeout. How do you only have 10 people in the huddle and have to rush someone on and then get a false start on 4th and 17? DTR in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw. Pressure comes quick, trying to escape, backing up a lot. Pass over the middle is caught with space. Gets past midfield, trying to get the edge on the right side. Past the 45 and down to the 40, down to the 40 of Orlando. It's a gain of 20. I mean, like, if you can't get the first, you'll take that. It makes it so they have to start on their side of the field. But just the entire sequence was just how. The false start, the holding penalty, the 10 people in the huddle. All like, we had commercial break. That entire sequence kind of just sums up the Stallions this season, and it's shameful. All right, so we're at commercial break. All right, at commercial break. All right. And then let me properly take a gander at these. As we're at commercial break. All right, at commercial break. Oh, great. Yeah, this was coming soon. Right, again, at least it's happening. At least the YouTube TV buffering is happening at commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break. I mean, Plummer has 2 fumbles technically, but he also has 300 plus yards passing. So like, give and take. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Plummer going to hand this off, going left, and that's Elijah Dotson for a gain of about 2. Just under 4.5 to play now. 2nd and 8 coming up. This is a big time drive for both sides. In fact, I would venture to say this drive might be for the game. All right. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on their own 41.5 yard line. Plummer looking to throw. Pass right side is caught. Past the 45 to about the 47 for KJ Hamler. 3rd and relatively short coming up. 3rd and 2 coming up. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side looking to throw in 3rd and 2. As some time pass deep right side, going to be just off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Elijah Dotson on the halfback wheel. 4th and 2 coming up and Dotson is down. He is slow to get up after that. Yeah, he took a scary fall trying to go up for that one. I like the decision there from Plummer because you have your running back lined up one-on-one against a lineman. The throw is off the mark, which again, kind of the story with Plummer is his throws aren't always the most accurate. Yeah, because if he leads them better, it's ever so slightly underthrown. If he leads Dotson better down the field, you have something there with him. And yeah, he fell hard on his head. Like if Plummer leads him down the field a bit more, you have something there. But instead, he slightly underthrows it. Dotson doesn't play it the best either, but he's also a running back, so you have to make it simpler for him. Yeah. You flew Spirit Airlines on an international flight? God, what? All right, 4th and 2, and the Storm will punt. Okay, that's somewhat more reasonable, but still. All right, punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning a fair caught at about the 7. Just under 3 minutes to play in the game. All right. What, the Denver airport or? I'm assuming you're talking about the one in Turks and Caicos. Yeah. I'm not surprised that one isn't the greatest. Yeah. Eventually I'll make my way out to Denver and all that. Just not sure exactly when. DTR and shotgun back to his left, going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space. Past the 15 and gonna be finally brought down right around the 20, maybe 21. Snoop Connor on the carry. Yeah. Again, eventually I'll make my way out there. With the idea of wanting to go to a game at every stadium. So at some point, I'll make my way out there. I'm not sure when. Yeah. I've heard that what airport was it? I've heard that I think it's the Atlanta airport that is really nice, but it's also like confusing. Like a maze almost. Yeah. But how far was that drive then? Because I have to drive out there and then that yeah. I think you did, yeah. All right, DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's a loss of 2. as that's potentially the final play before the 2-minute warning, is Chris Garrett on the tackle for loss. So it'll be 2nd and 12 coming up. And Orlando calls their first timeout. I get it. That's nice. Fair. Yeah. Yeah, again, eventually I'll see a bunch of these places. I'm just not sure when I'm gonna like act on that idea. Yep, week 7 kicks off Friday night between Columbus and St. Louis. 2 games on Saturday, 1 game on Sunday. Louisville versus DC could be an interesting game. I just don't have a lot of expectations for it. All right, DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the right. Ball on roughly their own 19-yard line. Looking to throw. Has some time. Gonna pass this one left side. It's caught with space. Past the 40, past the 45, and eventually tripped up at the 49. It's Justin Ross. And the Stallions are near midfield with about 2 minutes to play, as they're gonna let this run down to the 2-minute warning. Yeah. 7. Yeah, I could not do a 7.5 hour drive. That sounds crazy to me. Yeah. All right, 2 minutes to play. Head into the 2-minute warning commercial break. Another first down here for the Stallions, and that should just about do it. And commercial break. Game 7 between the Cavs and Raptors is starting in about 30. I'll probably have that on in the background while I get everything packed up. And as soon as this stream ends, I'm gonna eat and then get things prepared for tomorrow. All right, still at commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Two minutes to play in this one. I'm probably gonna get some Dave's hot chicken. Just because I was like, I kind of get out of the house as well. Initially, was gonna have something I have here, but I kind of want to get out. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a loss of about 2. So the Storm will now start calling timeouts again, I assume. Or maybe they wait for 3rd and 4th down to call them. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm very thankful for that. It's so crazy that one of those things where, like, randomly I would think about it at night, like, damn, yeah, he really did raid me 3 times. DTR going to keep it himself left side and has some room to adjust past midfield to about the 49. And now the Storm will call their second timeout. Because it was Rams Lions 2 years ago, just about. It was a second time that season, and then once last year. Crazy. All right, 3rd and 7. Game basically comes down to this. If they can get the first, they'll close it out. A minute 18 to play in the game. Yeah, DTR having a solid showing in this one against its former team. It's been a surprisingly good game. Play clock winding down. Stallions just now break the huddle with under 5 seconds to go in it. Yeah, just call it timeout. Yeah, Stallions call their final timeout. Yeah, you do not want this to be a 3rd and 12. 3rd and 7 is fine. Now, if they break the huddle after this timeout and only have 10 people there, I'm going to be shocked if that happens twice. All right, 3rd and 7. A minute 18 to play. A first down will end it. They need a 42-yard line. Either way, again, I think if they get close enough, they need a 41-yard line. I think if they get close enough, I think they just go for it. Or, yeah, DTR and shotgun back to his right. There's movement up front. Who do they get on this proper? I think if this is against Orlando, that's going to be a tough one. It's a neutral zone infraction against the Storm. A 3rd and 2 coming up. And that's, I would imagine that's probably going to go a long way to do in this game. Keyshawn Banks tried to jump the snap early. Yes, that's a 3rd and 2, more than 3rd and 4. DTR and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Going to hand this off up the middle, and there's the first. Inside the 40 to the 37, it's Snoop Connor. Call-in game. Storm will call their final timeout, but it's not... Actually, no, they won't. Yeah, there's no point in doing so. The clock just briefly stops you for the first. All that's left is to kneel this one out. Actually, they do call their final timeout for some reason. All that's left is for Dorian Thompson-Robinson to kneel this one out. He'll have his first win as a starter in the UFL against his former team as he's waving goodbye to the crowd. All 6,000 of them. Yeah, maybe. But what a win. What a win for the Stallions. And they play Dallas next week at home. With how the Renegades have been playing, that could be a pretty interesting game for them. Potentially really shake things up in the league this year. And for this back half. You're going to need 2 kneel downs from DTR. There's the first. Yeah, the Stallions offense played well. They played good enough for this game, especially early on. And in the second half, they had some key drives. But it was the defense. 3 forced turnovers. Yes, 2 of them were on bad exchanges between center and quarterback of Orlando, but still, they had to be the ones to pick up the ball. But 3 forced turnovers, over doubling the amount that doubling the amount the Storm have had this season. It's a really damn good win for the Stallions. One that has felt like they needed And you can see a framework of this offense starting to form. As there is the final kneel down. You can see a framework starting to form for this team and what they want to do as a team. But it's the first win for the Stallions in a long while. They snap a 4-game losing streak. And Adrian McCarron gets the win over his former coach. An all-around really solid game. So that'll be it for week 6. Power rankings on Tuesday, predictions on Thursday. Week 7 begins Friday night as the St. Louis Battlehawks are back at home after a 3-game road stretch, taking on the Columbus Aviators in what should be a pretty decent game to say the least. Saturday, there's 2 games, one at 1:30 p.m. EST, one at 8 o'clock EST. And then Sunday, we round out week 7 with the game at 6. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll see you all next time as the final month or so is going to be officially starting here soon with week 7, 8, 9, and 10. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. The playoff pushes are starting. Peace.